Motor racing over the years has generated huge revenue in various continents where the sport has a presence. Promoters and fans of the sport recently met in Lagos to discuss not just how to get the city involved, but look at the possibility of establishing a world-class academy.
Motorsport has a good followership in Europe, Asia and in America. Like the popular Formula One series with a formidable racetrack, fast cars and professional drivers. But for the passionate ones in Nigeria, is this achievable?
Lagos, I see it yesterday than actually tomorrow. It's going to happen. We have the infrastructure to do fantastic motorsport racing. Compare shoulder to shoulder with Monaco, and I can bet you sooner than later we're gonna build Lagos to have a fantastic circuit.
Unknown to many, 20-year-old Ovie Iroro is the first Nigerian ever to drive in the British Formula 4 Championship. Shireen Nuri is Swedish but married to a Nigerian. He has 12 trophies already from the sports, and they believe Lagos has what it takes.
We have the ingredients to make a very successful event here. We have so many passionate fans in motorsport. We have so many passionate people who believe they are really good drivers as well, and we'd like to get them involved with the sport, because it's one thing to keep watching these races in France, in Britain, in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, but then if we can actually give people the chance to actually take part in these events and follow their passions, and I think that will be a wonderful thing.
Definitely we have to take it step by step, so maybe doing the racing academy, and then why not building a proper racing track, and then really pushing. We have to find now young talent, develop them here at first in Nigeria, and then when they're ready to blossom, to really push them to a bigger series.
For the visionaire, the road to achieve this vision is tough, but it's what Nigerians will yearn for.
If you look at just ordinary bike racing, Nigerians are passionate. Right now in Lagos, we have close to about 5 or 6 bike racing clubs. So I think it's a good opportunity that when Nigerians are focused and they understand the concept, we're going to dominate it.
This is guaranteed to be revenue earner for Nigeria, highlighting the country's other potentials, but all hands must be on deck to make this lucrative dream a reality.
2 of Nigeria's representatives at the CAF Champions League, Enugu Rangers and Rivers United, are through to the first round of the competitions. Rangers this evening held visiting JS Asara of Algeria to a goalless draw to advance on the away goal rule, having held side to a 1-1 draw in the first leg. The NPFL defending champions will face Egyptian side Zamalek in the next round. Also, Rivers United edged out Mali's AS Real Bamako 4-0 to advance on a 4-0 aggregate win and face Al Marik of Sudan in the first round of the competition. Iraqi forces have been making progress in trying to seize back the last area held by the Islamic State in the country. The progress in the south of the city, Mosul, is the second biggest in Iraq, bringing them closer to the city's airport. There is, however, concern for all the thousands of civilians said to be trapped inside the city. The Iraqi Ministry of Defense released footage of the airstrikes on Islamic State targets in the west flank of the northern city of Mosul. Commander of the Army Aviation, Lieutenant General Hamid al-Maliki, said Iraqi helicopters carried out 22 sorties, killing 93 Islamic State militants. US-backed Iraqi forces on Sunday launched a ground offensive to dislodge Islamic State from their remaining stronghold in Mosul, in the west part of the city, and put an end to their ambitions for territorial rule in Iraq. Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi announced the start of the offensive in the northern Iraqi city. Islamic State militants are essentially under siege in West Mosul, along with an estimated 650,000 civilians, after they were forced out of the eastern part of the city in the first phase of an offensive that concluded last month after 100 days of fighting. According to the United Nations, up to 400,000 civilians could be displaced by the offensive as residents of western Mosul suffer food and fuel shortages and markets are closed. Meanwhile, a blast near a bull ring in the Colombian city of Bogota, injuring at least 30 people, many of them believed to be officers deployed ahead of a protest by animal rights activists. A bull ring has reportedly been the scene of weekly protests following the decision to reinstate bullfighting in the city. The protest began after a decision by the Constitutional Court, which ruled that bullfighting was part of the country's heritage and therefore could be reinstated. Many animal rights activists were angered by this and have clashed with police during protests against the reopening. 16 people have been killed in a car bomb explosion in the Somali capital, Mogadishu. Witnesses say shops and food stalls in the southern Medina district where the blast occurred were affected. 40 people were injured from the incident. It is said to be the first major attack in the capital since the election of President Muhammad Abdullahi Muhammad earlier this month. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack, but fingers point to Al-Shabaab, which has carried out several of such attacks in the country. And the main news again. 2 major fire incidents were recorded in Lagos today as emergency agencies call for vigilance as the new dry season sets in. The major one, the sawmill along Adekule Road in Oyigbo, was attended to by men of the fire service. Also today, the UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed asked the Nigerian government to invest more in education of girls in order to boost its development. She was speaking at the 50th anniversary lecture of late Ambassador Issa Wali. And Iraqi forces have seized several villages as they move towards an assault in the last area held by the Islamic State in Mosul. That is the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.